My wife and I have always been on the bigger side. After our second child, I made a lot of lifestyle changes. I started going to the gym, doing powerlifting and running a lot. I tried to encourage my wife to participate. And in the beginning she was really enjoying going to the gym, but eventually she relapsed into bad habits. I'm not one to push too much, and I always ensured her I would love her no matter what size she was. We were still having sex about 3 minutes 4 times a week, in which we both always enjoyed and pushed each other to try new things. Recently my wife noticed that a woman from my gym had commented on one of my gym videos on Instagram. It was a video of me beating my personal record in a deadlift with about 10 people from the gym cheering me on, including the woman who commented. The comment was along the lines of "fantastic result. On to the next." I can understand my wife's insecurity, but I reassured her there is literally nothing there. This is someone I occasionally chat to during exercises, and one of the guys helping me in the video is her husband. Anyway, basically it came down to her feeling I was getting far more attractive than her, and she was afraid I would leave her for some young and beautiful girl at the gym. We got into a friendly discussion. I proclaimed that if we were to both make a Tinder account now, she would probably still end up getting far more matches than me. Knowing that there are infinite amounts of horny guys, I was fairly sure of my hypothesis. I've never been on a dating app myself, but I assumed as a decent-looking 39-year-old that is in shape I would get some matches. We both installed Tinder and bought the Tinder Gold option so we could swipe in another city, both terrified of neighbors seeing us or something. We decided to put our locations to London and then started watching a movie. The mood during all this was giggly and fun. After the movie 2 hours, we both checked our phones again. My wife had 330 likes. You can see who has swiped you with Tinder Gold, and I had one. Her phone was blowing up. The first guy to start talking to her looked like a cross between Khal Drogo and The Rock, who was also a dentist, was sure to show this in his pics and was very down for meeting my wife tonight. I could tell right there and then from my wife's reaction that all this attention was turning her on. We sat together on her phone for about half an hour just watching these messages pour in. So many compliments from 6 male model types, guys wanting to meet up, guys sending their number. Every kind of race and type of guy was there to choose from at her fingertips. When she asked about my matches and saw I only had one, she let out an "Oh, at least I still want you, honey." Call me crazy, but this is the moment I saw in her eyes that everything was different. It was like suddenly she was realizing she could do better than me and fuck an unlimited amount of hot guys. We deleted our accounts that night and didn't really talk about it much more. I for one was scared to bring it up and felt humiliated that I had only gotten one match. To make it worse, she looked far worse than me. My wife even made fun of my match. Over the course of the next weeks, my wife started to reject my sex more and more. 2 months later, we hadn't had sex in a month. She was cold, bitter, started to have mood swings. This is when I let my bad side get the better of me. One day when she was visiting her mom, I grabbed her work laptop that she always stores in her office drawer and decided to see what I could find. I found out that she was using Tinder on her work laptop browser and had been talking to guys from all over the world the past weeks. Dubai, New York, California, you name it, she had swiped there. The conversations mentioned her being single, and everyone was sexually explicit in nature. All the guys she was talking to were 10 years younger than us too. Then I decided to try web.whatsapp.com to see if she would have left that logged in. I felt sick to my stomach reading her WhatsApp messages, but I had to know. I discovered that her 2 best friends, who have recently become single also, and have been dating a lot on Tinder, have been pushing her to realize what you can get and have been trying to get her to leave me or force me into having an open marriage. She often sends them screenshots of the guys she is matching with and is openly contemplating cheating on me. I have been spying on her work laptop whenever she is out now for about 3 weeks. She still doesn't know. Yesterday she very lightly brought up the open marriage to me, but framed it in a way that made it seem like I could do whatever I want and that she knew I'd want to fool around. She claims to not be using Tinder anymore since our experiment. I'm just absolutely devastated. A few months ago and we were great, and now it feels like my life is falling apart. It seems so animalistic what is happening. I don't want to believe my wife is this shallow, but it seems like she thinks she can do better than me and just wants to fuck hot guys. From what I can tell, she hasn't yet, but she has added a few guys from Tinder to her WhatsApp and been flirting with the idea of meeting them. In no way, shape, or form will I ever accept an open marriage. I have of course made screenshots of everything and even recording of the conversations on her laptop screen. For me, it feels like my marriage is already over. It's like I have been given a window into a part of my wife's mind that I wish didn't exist. I felt bad sometimes for looking at a girl's ass in the gym for more than 5 seconds and could lose sleep over how I might be betraying my wife by having indecent thoughts, etc. Anyone else gone through something like this? How do I even confront her? I 35 male drive after a prenup from my, I guess now ex, girlfriend 34 female, and she got mad and basically ghosted me. What can I do in the future to protect my assets, but not offend partners? Long. Let's get the obvious out of the way that I'm the asshole, and I definitely screwed this one. I feel like I did the right thing, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure I was in the wrong. I've honestly never been this conflicted before. Just a bit of background. My, now ex-girlfriend and I were going somewhat strong. We had our ups and downs, but no one cheated, no one was unfaithful. We were in a relationship for around 7 years. Due to COVID, we haven't exactly been able to hang out as much as we want. We've discussed marriage, and there were a few details that we wanted to iron out before sealing the deal, but we were more or less on the same page. I seriously considered proposing to her after we figure out the few details. Recently, I became paranoid. I guess the onset of potentially proposing after COVID has me stressed. Some of my good friends are divorced, and I watched them go from bright, bubbly, outgoing people to shut-ins, barely talking to anyone, and depressed. I managed to get a bro talk with one of them, and he basically said that he's going to lose half his assets to his ex-wife because they are getting a divorce. He feels like it's unfair because most of the assets were his before they got married, but laws are laws. He feels cheated because he worked hard for his stuff and he's going to lose half of it. He also told me to get a prenup so that what happened to him doesn't happen to me. He also said to spread the word to all our friends who aren't married yet, so they don't get screwed over. I followed his advice and got a prenup, and presented it to my girlfriend. She didn't like it, looked at me like I was crazy, and just walked out of my apartment. This was a few weeks ago. She hasn't picked up or responded to my texts. I screwed up, and honestly I don't think there's any other way to repair the relationship, so I'm going to call her. And if she doesn't pick up, I'm going to text her that we're breaking up. I'm not a psychic, but I'm fairly certain we're already broken up in her mind, so I guess I just want to make sure. So I guess here's my question. It's less about my current relationship but more about my future relationships. How do I protect my assets without offending my future fiancé? Be upfront. I don't know, I'm stuck. And yes, I'm the asshole in this. I honestly thought she'd understand where I'm coming from, but I guess I'm just dumb. And yes, maybe the relationship wasn't as strong as I thought if I'm having cold feet. Edit. Thanks for the comments. Hopefully I become a better person for this. I hate what happened, but there's honestly nothing I can do to mend this relationship. And besides, it's not like I deserve a second chance anyways. I'll do my best and hopefully not screw up next time. And no, I'm not rich. I'm an office clerk. I don't have investments, but I do pay my rent on time. She's not after my money.